Okay. All right. Hey, Albert, thanks again for allowing us to come over and just kind of share with you some concepts that we have for our company. And before I get started, I just want to thank you again for allowing us to be here with Sparky and helping them out with their training. And it means a lot to them. Right now they're getting their state licenses ready, and part of the training is their state license, and the other part of their training is to actually observe some of these presentations so they could actually learn how to do our business. So your job today, Albert, is just to ask me a lot of questions during this presentation. The more questions you ask me, the better it's going to be for Sparky to actually learn the business. So I appreciate you taking your time to do this. So one of the things we have a concept called the financial house. Now, one of two things will happen for sure in your life at some point, Albert. You could either end up dying too soon or you could live too long. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, do you think it makes sense to have a plan in case you die too soon or live too long?
Yes.
It does, right? So this plan, we design it like a house. Now, if you were to build a house, let's just say, Albert, all you have is an empty lot, just have the dirt. What do you think that would be the first thing that we need to lay down on that lot to start your house?
The cement.
Yeah, the cement, right? Which is what? The foundation, right?
Right.
Okay, so then now after we have the foundation set up, now we can start building some walls. And what's the last thing that usually goes up on a house?
The roof.
A roof, right? Now, would it make any sense to start off with the roof first?
No.
No, right? We have to start with the foundation and work our way up. So, what does all this mean in your financial life? Okay, so the foundation, Albert, is going to be all your insurances. It's going to be your auto insurance, your homeowner's insurance, and your life insurance. Now, for you and your wife, Yuli, which one of those three types of policies would be most important to your family?
I would say life,
Okay, and why do you say that?
because if something happens to me, I'm not covered.
And how does that affect your family?
It affects the family by having to figure out how they're gonna bury me,
Bury you, and what else?
and well, they're not gonna have money because I'm the breadwinner.
Exactly. So you're like a money machine, right? So what we see, Albert, is in most families, there's two incomes, right? That come in to kind of run the household. Now, if something happens to one of those incomes and they pass away, well, there's going to be two deaths, right? It's going to be the death of the person and the death
Mhm.
of their income. So
Right.
what we do is we like to call life insurance income replacement insurance. See, we can't replace you, but we can definitely replace your income. Now, right now, do you and Yuli have an income replacement policy outside of work?
No.
No. So is that something that's important to you that you have something in place in case something does happen to you prematurely that the income continues to come in for your wife and your
Yes.
child, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, if we were able to design a program tonight that actually fit in your budget, wouldn't cause any kind of financial strain, would you go ahead with that if it made sense?
Yes.
Okay, great, great, great. We'll visit that right at the end of the presentation. Okay. Now, the next thing that we do, Albert, is we design a plan to completely eliminate debt. Okay, from your life completely. Now, debt in a household, I like to call it like it's like debt is like termites, having termites in your home. Now, what do termites do to your home?
They eat away at the wood.
They eat away at the wood, right? So what debt does, it eats away at your wealth. So we want to make sure we get rid of all of it, right? We once we get rid of all that debt, it's going to free up a lot of money. Can you imagine right now not having a car payment, not having a house payment, not having credit cards or anything like that? How much more money would that free up monthly for you?
A lot.
A lot, right? So it's the same thing with most families. So what we do is we design this program for you to be able to pay off your debt. And if you have any debt, not sure if you do or not, but if you do, we'd love to help you with that. Sound good?
Yeah.
Now, the last thing that we do is we set up what we call the three fundamental accounts of investing. Okay. Your first fundamental account, most experts say you should have always these three accounts. The first one's an emergency account. You never know when there's going to be an emergency. So we want to make sure we're always prepared with money available just in case something happens. Now, what we don't want to use is we don't want to use debt to get out of an emergency because what you do when you do that is you start this debt cycle. getting in debt, out of debt, in debt, out of debt, in debt, out of debt. So we wanted you have an account specifically for emergencies only. Now we don't want to put this account in the bank because the banks offer less than 1/8% in interest. Have you ever noticed in your bank, not like who do you bank with currently?
With Citibank.
Well, Citibank. Have you ever seen your statements to see how much interest they actually pay you on your money that you keep there?
No, I wasn't even aware.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a small amount that you don't even see it. It's pennies, right? So what we don't want is money from an emergency account sitting in a bank account. What we do is we recommend our clients set aside at least 3 months of their expenses or their income, right? In an account that's averaging 1 to 3%. So now your money's actually working for you and waiting for something to happen so that when something does happen, car breaks down, something happens with the house and water heater goes out or something like that, stuff like that happens at the roof or whatever, we always have money available for to take care of that emergency. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And at the same time, that account's been earning 1 to 3%. Okay. Any questions on that part?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, the second account we set up is called a short-term account. Short-term meaning we plan on not touching this money for 3 to 5 years. The goal is to have 6 months of your expenses saved here, and this account's going to average 4 to 7%. This account's going to be set aside for bigger things that might happen in life, like let's say you want to buy a new car because your car keeps breaking down, but we want to pay cash. We don't want to go back into termites, right? Let's say that you are in a position where maybe you get hurt on the job and you can't work for a few months. Well, good thing is that you have your short-term account and you have 6 months of expenses saved there. Maybe you want to put a down payment on a house. That's where we're going to save the down payment, right? Somebody gets laid off from their job. Here's at least 6 months of expenses. Can you see how an account like that can definitely help you out, tremendously in your financial future?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So that's the second fundamental account. Now the third account, our last account, this account, well, let me ask you this question. You've been living in the US probably all your life, right?
Right.
You know that you can finance a lot of different things. You can finance houses, cars, education. There's some pet stores that actually finance pets. You could finance a dog, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully they don't die and you end up with a payment, right?
Right.
One of the few things you cannot finance in America is going to be your retirement. That you have to save up for because look, if you end up living too long, you need a backup plan. If you die too soon, you have a backup plan. So by having this whole house structured this way, whatever happens in life, something happens in between, you got a plan already to eliminate debt. You got your emergency account and short-term account. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So now, any questions on that part, Albert?
Yes, real quick. So what if I save more than 6 months?
Then you save more than 6 months. So whatever you save up, let's say that you've already hit your 6 month mark. We're going to take a look at your retirement to make sure that you're on track for that. Now, do you have a 401(k) at your job?
No, I don't.
You don't. Okay, so we need to set up your own retirement account because you have to live off something. Because remember, if you live too long, you need to have a good chunk of money set aside to help you be able to retire for the rest of your life. So we want to make sure all your accounts are set up.
So it doesn't matter if I have more than 6 months of income saved. I don't have to pull it out. That's what I'm asking.
No, you do not have to pull it out.
Okay.
And there's no time frame when you have to wait. You can take this money out next month if you wanted to.
Okay.
You don't have, but we just recommend giving this money time to grow.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. So that's it. That's my presentation now. Let me just stop this. Okay.